Breaking news out of Washington, where former Congresswoman Cori Bush's husband has been indicted on 2 federal counts of wire fraud. According to court documents, Courtney Merritt's filed fraudulent applications seeking pandemic funds.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former quote-unquote squad member Cori Bush's husband, Courtney Merritt, being charged with wire fraud for allegedly stealing pandemic relief funds to the tune of $20,000. Now, 20 bands, as the cool kids say, that is a nice chunk of money. It's sizable. If somebody came up to you with a black briefcase with 20 bands inside, no strings attached, you'd be happy. However, is it worth going to prison for $20,000? I mean, you could really make that in a year from flipping burgers. And you have businesses, like legitimate businesses. Why would you steal 20 bands? Also, wasn't your wife in Congress at the time? I'm sure she makes a decent salary. I'm sure she makes 6 figures. You have employment. She has employment. So why are we stealing this relatively small amount of money? Especially since Cori Bush used her position as a congresswoman to further enrich you beyond just her salary. Now, before I go any further into it, let's look at a throwback clip here, okay? Because there was allegations before all of this, right? There were allegations before this. I'm gonna just read some of this right here. So it says, you know, Cori Bush's husband, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the development comes following a separate investigation where Bush is accused of paying her husband 150,000 U.S. American cold hard cash dollars to serve as her quote unquote bodyguard. Okay. So you got paid 150 to be the bodyguard, but you want to steal 20,000 more. So it's not enough to grift 6 figures. You got to get another 20 on top. What are you spending your money on? I'm glad that she's no longer in office, because clearly she's not a good steward of finances or a good decision maker. Let's watch this video from back then when she was being accused of stealing this money to pay her husband to be the so-called bodyguard. Check it out.
I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend 10 more dollars on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety.
The wealthy should pay their fair share.
Yes, wealthy should pay their fair share.
What is a fair share? What percentage?
So you're saying that you're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying.
No, I'm asking what percentage is a fair share?
Their fair share, the same. If a third of my money is going to taxes, then I think a third of their money should be going to taxes. Well, it does.
I'm trying to
I mean, she was a moron as well. I mean, your AOCs or whatnot of the world, they're morons also, but at least they would have an answer for this question. It will not be the right answer, but it will be an answer. She didn't have anything. She was just in here just getting money, ultimately. That's kind of what it was.
Understand, because you realize the effective tax rate on the poor is less than it is on the rich, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the poor. I'm very close to that line, but I'm not the poor.
Okay, so the effective tax rate on the middle class is less than it is on the rich, correct? What fair share would you like to change the tax rate to on the wealthiest, what percentage of Americans, so it's a fair share?
So let's say the wealthy 1% could pay, let's say if they paid, let's just give them 45%.
Cringeworthy. Completely cringeworthy. Look, I'm glad she's no longer in office. Okay, we have another one here. This is her talking about AIPAC, because when in doubt, blame the Jays. They did it. Hey, you know what? I'm being investigated because my husband stole some money allegedly. I stole some money allegedly. So I'm going to just blame them. They did it. Watch this.
AIPAC has already started to spend against me in this race upwards of $20 million. Our democracy is not for sale. I need your help.
Okay, so look, AIPAC got accused of spending more than $8 million to defeat and silence Congresswoman Cori Bush for her anti-war advocacy. Because I guess she's against maybe the war in Israel, Palestine, whatever. She wants to help the Gazans, whatever it is. So the accusation is that AIPAC came in there to not only disrupt her campaign, but also that of Jamal Bowman. And of course, these were two squad affiliates and/or some kind of way members, along with AOC and the rest of them. And look, if AIPAC did do that, shout out to AIPAC, shout out to the Jays, because you guys did a good thing. I'm glad that she's not in office anymore. Her constituents can breathe a sigh of relief that a clear, in my humble opinion, thief and airhead is up out of the way. But look, I don't understand people that steal from the federal government when they're in the federal government. There's a lot of grifting and there's a lot of graft happening, but it's done in a certain kind of way that is legal. Unfortunately legal, but it's legal. Prime example, insider trading. Okay, you're a lawmaker and you draft up a law that has 10,000 pages in it and nobody reads the pages. And if they did read it, they wouldn't understand it because it's written in a crazy lawyerese, legalese, Washington, D.C.'s language. You don't know what they're saying in the actual documentation. But in that law, they'll pass something that will impact the economy. It'll impact specific businesses. And they trade stocks based on that knowledge of a law that has not been passed yet that they drafted. So when the law does pass, they already made the decision, the necessary moves to benefit financially. That's how you do things legally. Something else. Ilhan Omar getting married to her consultant, Tim Mynett, and rather than taking campaign money straight from an account and putting it into her bank account, 70% or so of the campaign money goes to him because he's a consultant, right? A consultant for her campaign. But because they're married, the money can go from his account straight back to her indirectly. That's legal. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying you should do it, but it's legal. And that's how they steal money legally. But you just want to straight up take 20 bands from PPP loans. And when they debuted the loans, they got on TV and said, hey, if you steal from us, if you use this as an opportunity to commit fraud, we will find you and we will prosecute you. And it looks like from the allegations, again, no conviction yet, but it looks like from the allegations that her husband got caught up in that and he might go to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little, all for $20,000. Look, as I close, I want to say this. Can we please get these thieves up out of the government? And I feel like if you are in a governmental position and you steal and you're convicted of stealing, you can see the evidence. If you do that, you need to seriously get a real prison sentence because this kind of thing cannot continue. I don't like those who get in government to enrich themselves rather than serving the people. And if there were tougher penalties, if there are more severe penalties for this kind of activity, then maybe you would have a little bit less of it, in my humble opinion. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Cori Bush's husband allegedly stealing $20,000 from PPP loans? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. Are you surprised at what's going on here, considering it is Cori Bush? And we saw her give her husband $150,000 for quote unquote security purposes. Like, we already saw what she's on. She's just trying to extract money, talking about, oh, the rich got to pay their fair share. How about people that make a lot of money like you because you made sure to tell the news reporter that you're not the poor. You are not the poor. Okay, so why are you stealing? Right? If you are not the poor, then you have no reason to steal. And even if you were poor, that's no excuse to steal. But at least that could be something you say in your mind to rationalize it. Hey, I don't have any money. I don't have any food. I'm going to go steal something. But you have money. So what is the excuse? And again, I'm not saying an excuse is valid whether you have money or not. But it's even worse when you already have a bunch of money. Imagine making what, 175, 230, whatever the salary is a U.S., like a U.S. going to D.C., a U.S. House rep, how much money does that pay? And it's not enough. You got to straight up steal money. It's totally crazy to me. But again, not surprising at all, considering what we saw from Cori Bush while she was in office. And again, if AIPAC did that, if they were able to get her up out of the way, they did this country a service. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.